This is our cell energetics poster by Suzanne, Dory, Sammy, and Parker. This is our overall model of photosynthesis. The equation for photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2. And when you look under the chloroplast diagram, you will see the light-dependent and independent cycle. The light-dependent equation is sunlight plus H2O plus ADP plus NADPH equals NADPH plus ATP plus O2. The light-independent equation is NADPH plus ATP plus CO2 equals ADP plus NADP plus C6H12O6. In summary, first, sunlight energizes electrons in photosynthesis 2. The energized electrons are then carried down the electron transport chain by the electron carriers, where they power ATP-producing processes in the thylakoid membrane. The missing electrons in photosynthesis 2 are replaced by the ones gained by splitting water into electrons, hydrogen ions, and oxygen. Once the electrons reach photosynthesis 1, they have lost most of their energy and must be re-energized by sunlight. The electrons are then transported to NADP+, where they combine with hydrogen ions and electrons to create NADPH, along with the ATP that is produced with the help of the electrons is used in the light-independent reactions in the chloroplast.
Next up is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is a process through which cells can obtain ATP in the presence of oxygen. The equation is C6H12O6, which is glucose, plus 6O2, which is oxygen, reacts to form 6CO2, carbon dioxide, plus 6H2O, water, plus ATP energy. As you can see, cellular respiration occurs in organelles called mitochondria. It occurs in 3 stages: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain plus chemiosmosis. The first stage of cellular respiration is glycolysis, an anaerobic process which occurs in the cytoplasm. Glucose goes through a tube called glycolysis, powered by the input of 2 ATP molecules. Glucose is then split into 2 3-carbon molecules called pyruvic acid, as well as 4 high-energy electrons. The energy released during this is used to produce 4-TP, making a net gain of 2 ATP, and the electrons are combined with NAD+ to produce NADH, an electron carrier. The NADH goes to the electron transport chain, while the ATP is used by the cell.
The second stage of cellular respiration is the Krebs cycle, an aerobic process which occurs in the mitochondrial matrix. Through a series of reactions, the 2 pyruvate acids from the previous stage are converted into acetyl-CoA, and then citric acid carbon dioxide is released through this process. And NADH and FADH2 high-energy electron carriers that go to the electron transport chain are synthesized from NAD+ and FAD. The third and final stage of cellular respiration is the electron transport chain and chemiosmosis, an aerobic process occurring in the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. The ETC travels NADH and FADH2 and carriers send electrons down the electron transport chain, allowing protons to pass into the intermembrane space. At the ATP synthase, the protons have created a concentration gradient and go down the gradient back to the matrix, turning the synthase and allowing it to produce ATP. This process is called chemiosmosis. The electrons are accepted by the oxygen at the end of the chain, producing water and converting NADH and FADH2 back into NAD+ and FAD, allowing it to be recycled back into the previous 2 stages. This whole process nets around 36 ATP molecules per 1 molecule of glucose.
Fermentation is the process through which an organism can obtain energy in the absence of oxygen. This process causes energy to be released from food molecules by producing ATP. There are 2 different forms of fermentation: alcoholic and lactic acid fermentation. During alcoholic fermentation, pyruvic acid and NADH react to create ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide, and NAD+. While alcoholic fermentation occurs mainly in yeast, lactic acid fermentation is common in more organisms. This process converts pyruvic acid to lactic acid and NAD+. If quick energy is needed, this process is the one the body uses to produce ATP. But if long-term energy is required, above 90 seconds, cellular respiration is needed to sustain it.